There is nothing in human consciousness more profound than the journey of a human life. It is unprecedented, unrepeatable, remarkable, and breathtaking that we can look out into the world and up into the sky, ask questions, seek answers, and learn. So let's start there. My name is Haze. I live in Los Angeles, and I'm an artist. Being an artist was never a part of my life plan. I didn't draw a lot as a kid. I didn't take art classes. I don't have a BFA. I can remember being in New York City and walking by all the galleries, looking at all the beautiful paintings, and thinking to myself, I could never do that. When I started painting, I knew nothing. I didn't know what kind of paper to buy, what kind of paint to buy, what kind of brushes to buy. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I wasn't embarking on an artistic journey. I was embarking on a quest for meaning. There was a need inside of me to put a meaning to my art. I was scrolling through Instagram one day and I came across this artist called Krank. And I was instantly drawn to his work. He is the artist that really inspired me to actually go down, buy paint, buy paper, and get started. He's the artist that gave me the kick in the ass that I needed to really stop thinking about it. When I first started painting, my intention was to paint in black and white only. It was never my intention to paint in color. I felt like my message was very black and white. And I had been studying artists like Richard Serra, Adam Pendleton, of course the Krank. So I felt like the black and white arena was the best fit for me and for my art. I was painting one day. I'd only been painting maybe a couple of weeks. And I created this mark. And I instantly knew that I was onto something really, really special. I kind of sat with it for a few days and I went back and I started playing with it. And it would become what is now the Haze mark. After I was painting for about, maybe 2 or 3 months, I get a call with an opportunity to go to Paris for a residency. So I go to Paris, I start this residency. It was in 2019, right at the beginning of the pandemic. And I was there for a few weeks and then I had to get on a plane and come back because they were closing the borders. So I thought, well, I'll never see these paintings again. I had started 7 of them. I came back to the United States and on my way back on the plane in my sketchbook, I drew what I thought would be a hand-drawn version of the first mark, the one I had created. And how would I draw that? And that evolved into the second version of the Haze mark, which is the one I use in all my paintings now. And the meaning expanded as the mark evolved. So the Haze mark is the essence of my work. It's the essence of all my paintings. I'd been painting, I think I had done 7 paintings. And again, one of my reps came in and said, that painting, the name of the painting was Lucid, that painting looks like it has a face on it. And what are you talking about, a face? I didn't draw a face. He goes, yeah, look. And he pointed out to me, and I went, oh my God, you're right. This is what the Haze mark means. The circle represents energy. The 12 marks around the circle represent time. 12 hours in a day, AM, 12 hours in the evening, PM, 12 months in a year. 1 plus 2 equals 3. I believe that every living being has a divine right to health, wealth, and happiness. Right? The first set of sevens represents the 7 notes in the musical scale, the heptatonic scale. With those 7 notes, we can create symphonies. The second set of sevens represents the 7 colors in the rainbow, the 7 prismatic colors. Those 7 colors, we can create millions of colors. And the last set of sevens represents the 7 attributes of physicality. Everything in the physical world, even a molecule, has these 7 attributes: a top, a bottom, a front, a back, 2 sides, and a center of connection. Without those 7 attributes, nothing can exist in the physical world. So, time, energy, sight, sound, physicality, these are ingredients for life. These are ingredients for art. The Haze character isn't Russian, American, Chinese, or Italian. It's not gay, straight, transgender. It's not male. It's not female. It's the representation of everything good in the human potential. I call it I am. I am dignified. I am honorable. I am kind. I'm accepting. I'm tolerant. I am ... Art has the power to change the world. It raises consciousness by starting a conversation. It starts a conversation because it makes people think and feel. Art is the defining characteristic of being human, with communication and trade coming in second and third. My first series of color paintings were the AKT paintings: acceptance, kindness, tolerance. How do I want people to act? ACT. I want them to act ACT with AKT, acceptance, kindness, tolerance, right? When I was studying the top characteristics of being human, I find out that they are art, communication, and trade. Well, guess what? ACT. So now use your art, use your communication, use your trade to manifest, to inspire AKT, acceptance, kindness, tolerance. Okay, so I've been painting now for about maybe a year. I go back to Paris. I finished the first Paris residency. I finished those paintings, which would become the Arcanum. And then I do 16 more paintings, and then I come back. I start having these thoughts about creating a mural that would describe what it means to be human. Okay, well, that's a really big conversation. I can't do that in a smaller painting. That's going to be a big painting. And I have scaled up quite a bit now. Probably, I think my biggest painting at this point was maybe 5 feet by 6 feet. So I've gone from little paper paintings to these big canvases in a matter of 6 months, 8 months. I mean, everything is moving really fast. And so I began thinking about what would now become the human mural. I just wasn't sure if I was ready to take on something so big. I kept painting, sales were good, and I got my first museum show at the Beckler Museum in Charlotte, North Carolina. It was the most viewed show in the museum's history. And then I thought, you know what, when you're ready. You can't continue to create a body of work that reminds people of what it means to be human, or you say you're reminding people of what it means to be human, but you haven't stated what it means to be human, right? So this mural, the human mural, is a major evolution for me in my art career. It's a mammoth hurdle. And I do believe that this mural is my legacy piece, that every life that this mural touches is my legacy. I began painting the human mural in January of 2023. I had to first find a place that I could rent that had a wall that was big enough to hold this mural. The mural is 8 feet tall and 21 feet long. And finding a space with a wall that big was not easy to do in Los Angeles, but I did it. I didn't want the mural to be in panels of, let's say 7 feet by 8 feet. I wanted it to be one big long piece. I feel like with the state of the world being where it's at, that I wanted the mural to represent a unity. When it came time to start writing on the mural, I knew I would have a very short amount of time to say a whole lot. And that's because people's attention span is so limited. I would have to say things very profoundly, very powerfully, right? So I used a lot of quotes and a lot of phrases. Things like own your magic, create your world, be the change, know the process. You'll see that, and you'll also see things like statistics, facts, achievements, inventions, innovations, the things that have helped us rise to the top of the food chain. If there's one thing that I want you to take away from this mural, it's this. We are all human beings. This planet doesn't belong to anyone. We're here for a very short time. This planet will be here long after we're gone. We've been given very profound gifts, and I want us to focus on those gifts so that every living being on this planet can have a better experience. Right? That's the whole point of being a human being. When you overcome adversity, you rise above, you become successful, you use that success to educate yourself, and then you share that knowledge with others with the intention of being of service, educating, inspiring, uplifting, elevating other human beings. In my opinion, that's the definition of what it means to be human. That's why we're here, to grow, to learn, to evolve, and to share that with others. There are 5 fundamental questions to human existence. Why am I here? Do I matter? Do I belong? Will I be heard? Will I be seen? I'm 63 years old. Every day, I still ask myself those same 5 questions. I've painted this massive mural, and I wonder, is it going to make a difference? I'm just a guy from Texas with a message. But here's what I've learned. Desmond Tutu once said, the ocean is nothing more than drops of water that have come together. Every drop matters. Every drop matters. I would expand on that thought by saying, and when those drops of water come together with energy, intention, purpose, they can create a tidal wave of change. So even though I'm just a little guy from Texas, it's important for me to be the change I want to see in the world. It's important for you to be the change that you want to see in the world. We're all just drops of water, but when we come together, we can become quite powerful, very powerful. Tune out the noise. Listen to the right voices. And do you know which voice is the right voice to listen to? The voice within. The voice within. Human beings have been given the greatest gifts. The gifts to look out into the world and up into the sky. Ask questions, seek answers, and learn. No other species that we know of in the entire universe has been given these gifts. What are we doing with the gifts we've been given? What are we doing? Hello, everyone. I just want to take a minute to say thank you for watching this presentation. These ideas, thoughts, quotes are things that have inspired me in my life that I hope will inspire you in your life moving forward. I'm not here to tell anyone how to live, what to think, what to believe, or how to feel. The intention of the mural is to remind people of what it means to be human and what a great gift life is. I wish you all a life of health, wealth, and happiness. Thanks again for watching.